soap and water, you got rid of all the germs on Achilles' hands.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome to Today on One. I'm Isai Sipunga. In the news tonight, over 30 households lose electrical appliances due to municipality error. Vendors from neighboring countries force us to move to the city, says illegal occupants. Rosa Namises urges youth to be critical thinkers. I get happy when the dew is visible on the leaves, says farmer. And Roundup, Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the weather. Now for the news in detail. Over 30 residents from Damara location are appealing for compensation from the city of Windhoek for the loss of some of their electrical appliances, which are damaged due to a transformer replacement in the area, which took place in 2020.
Compensation! We want compensation! We want compensation!
Oh, oma, pas op. Mama, pas op. Ek sê, wat is dit? Alle goed brand. Jy kan nie die ketel staan, maar jy het die aangesit, maar die goed is net aan. Die goed is aan, alles. Die TV het geblas.
The residents on the Richard Kamuhuka, Hans Uirab and Chikati streets in the Damara location claim to have lost appliances such as microwaves, fridges and televisions, which they want the city of Windhoek to reimburse them for, as they were destroyed as a result of the transformer replacement the city of Windhoek's technical department carried out in 2020 in the area.
The city of Windhoek, they were fixing electricity. They were changing transformers on the 14th of August, 2020, that is. So, changing transformers, I think the voltage went up, and then from 6 o'clock in the morning it started. I switched on the bulb, the light and then the bulbs just started bursting. The microwave just burst also, and then the TV went up in smoke. And then I thought I did some wiring wrong or something, so I came out. And as I came out, people were actually running around and asking one another, did this actually happen there too? And then we said, okay, it's the whole, maybe 1, 2, 3 streets. They sent out some assessors where they wrote, they did some technical whatever. I think they were inspecting what happened, and then they wrote, they complete some forms, and then and after that they said they will come back to us, and they never did. After that, we're waiting.
It happens last year, as said, on the 14th of August, and it's now a year and almost 3 months that we are still waiting for the municipality to do something on this. Really, it's a loss. And if you even go to my house, you will see that that stove cost me almost $9,000, and now the stove is just standing like that. So, you see, we are just seeking or begging or asking the municipality to do something on this, because we buy these things. We bought it with money. And you know, it's really a loss. So that is all we wanted from the municipality, to come out and tell us, or you know, especially to pay back this money or to buy our things back.
Daardie oggend, die 14 Augustus, ek het dat hulle hi-fi wat so groot is, nee, wat R4,000 gekos het, wat ek net stel en luister oggendtyd 6 uur. En skielik het die ding stil geraak en die plak ook daaronder by die kamer het ook gebrand. En my ketel, baie dierketel het ook gebrand in die kombuis. En my dogter se decoder het ook gebrand of geblas daardie oggend.
The city of Windhoek in response noted that it has submitted a claim to their insurance company, which was rejected. The city then resubmitted a request for consideration of goodwill, feedback of which is still awaited for. The city further adds that it is engaging the insurance broker and the group of concerned residents regarding the matter.
If the municipality tell us already, no, we want to switch off the higher electricity voltage must come, so switch off you guys stuff like we doing previously. He tell us in the radios and say, no, we switch off the waters, then we take the water before he cutting. Now these people is cutting now. We switch off the electricity. We don't even know.
Nou, ek wil net vir die municipaliteit in die top vra. Sal dit goed gewees het as dit 'n mens was en soveel mense, soveel goed wat beskadig was, as dit mense was, wat sal hulle gesê het? Of wat sal hulle gemaak het? As daar iemand nou dood gegaan het, ons moet die kinders uit die huis uithaal. Jy het nie die ketel aangesit, die ketel is sommer aan, die ketel gaan aan. Maar die goed het skarrig, het hoe goed staan nou net in die huis, wat gewerk het. Die tyd wat ons gewerk het, het ons dit goed gekry. Hier by my huis, het die negro ontgebrand, die TV het geplas.
Imagine the smoke, the smell of the electricity in your house. While these little children, our children are standing here, there is a smell of electricity which is very dangerous to kids as well. I want City of Windhoek to repair my stuff because the damage was done by them. The electricians did not work properly on their system. I don't know what happened. I just want them to please repay my things that they've damaged. That's all I want from them.
Enjoy these fantastic payday savings at Clicks until the 2nd of December. Buy Clicks 2-ply toilet paper 18 rolls, $89.99 per pack. Buy Huggies Gold Disposable Nappies Jumbo Pack, now $230.99 per pack. Buy Nivea Body Lotion and Repair and Care Body Lotion 2 for $121. And buy Savlon Hygiene Soap 3 for $33. Clicks. Feel good. Pay less.
In and out of prison, dealing and doing drugs. Then a drug deal went wrong. Joseph was robbed, handcuffed, and scared straight out of the business. For 6 months, he roamed the streets as a homeless addict. Then one night, in a baseball dugout, Joseph met a stranger who totally changed his life.
I stand in awe of the power of the God who's our creator. And Terry and I sit here on this program, and the Lord speaks to us, and it's the word of knowledge. It's one of the manifestations of the Holy Spirit.
Something not always godly.
Not always, that's right. That's right. Well, there's a lot of negative voices out there, as we know.
Yes, there are.
And
so how do you know when it's God saying, Perry, I want to speak this to you right now?
And sometimes you don't know. And I think you pray over it and you think about it. And sometimes you just, a lot of times I'll just envision, as you and I are talking here today, I may envision that I'm here talking with God. And how am I supposed to address this issue?
Okay? Realize Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is the same for you right now. So let's pray. Let's call on his name and let him do the rest for you. Let's pray.
Steeds abandonment issues.
Is moontlik.
Ons moeite met die sprokies. Ek probeer so hard om my kind gelukkig te maak, maar ek kry dit net nie reg nie.
Probeer net help, dis al.
Jy doen niks sonder bymotiewe nie.
So jy hou van die tattoo?
Nee. Maar jy kan nie liefde koop nie. En beslis nie myne nie.
Jy regular.
Am I that predictable?
Jy is 'n gereelde klant en ons net so 'n manier om koffie te drink.
How do you like your coffee?
Gewoonlik swart sonder suiker.
Does black and bitter only pertain to your coffee preference?
Ek hou maar net van my koffie sonder melk. Hoe gaan ek 'n bal raak slaan na 2 glase wyn?
That was part of my plan.
Wat? Om 'n tipsy te maak sodat jy kan wen.
I'm terrible at papa.
Illegal occupants at the Tobias Hanyeko informal settlement, who have been occupying the soccer field for the past 4 months, say they have moved to the city looking for better opportunities, as competition at local markets at their villages is one of the main reasons they moved to Windhoek.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Women living at a soccer field in the Tobias Hanyeko informal settlement narrated the reasons why they have moved to the city. Many say they have no choice but to live in Windhoek as they have children schooling in the city and many work as vendors making ends meet.
We are not perfect tour. Where we came from, we are eating from nature. We are eating mahangu that we crop ourselves, we are eating what, but work, money is what brought us here. We are here because of financial. Financial answered everything. Our kids are growing up now, or they have been grown. Like me, my children went to my first and my second. My second is at the university, my first finished university already. It's because of money. Then I want to touch on the side of that we are street vendors now due to the fact of retrenchments and the pandemic and everything that has been transpired, is that we are here and we totally know that municipality, the land of or the land that municipality going to offer to us will be paid. We are not against paying, and we are not here confessing that we don't have or we don't receive anything. And we knew that we are, for now, street vendors. We struggle here and there, and we receive money here and there. We get anything here and there. We are here struggling, and we are here with our children as they are here. They are here. We are here trying to make them better people. We cannot make better people or grow our children in shacks like this.
Another vendor say before the coronavirus pandemic, they were earning an income but now hardly make any sales. They claim that the possibility of going back to their villages is there, but say competition is tight over there as many farms and the market are over-occupied with vendors from neighboring countries.
Yeah, like before Corona, we were better really. We were doing good. Before they started chasing everyone while we are selling there, our tomatoes at Stop and Shop, the police comes there. Some they even go like kicking everything, move, do this and do this. But the truth is the foreigners, Chinatown was not closed. But us who are in the streets, full Namibians, we were losing our things. Tomatoes were getting rotten. Our onions, they were getting just kicked by everywhere. They find you there, hurry up, do this, do this. Without considering, there in tomatoes is where I get the bread for my kids. If you do that, where will I get the bread for my kids? Just selling tomato and onion, we're making money. So we decided to come here to make more money. At least we saw that we can even send there at home for the parents to help themselves. And the kids, some of the kids, they are there in Rondo. But no one knew the situation could come to this stage now, that Corona came in just accidentally like that. Lockdowns, especially during the first lockdowns, people were not moving at all. That's where we were like finished totally. Yeah, from there we never recovered until now.
The vendors further plead with police officers to be more lenient when removing vendors from the places they operate from, as they claim they lose a lot when the fruits and vegetables they sell are damaged by the officers when they forcefully remove their products.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Human rights activist Rosa Namises is calling on young women to become critical thinkers when it comes to engaging leaders on issues they are facing.
Namises was addressing a group of young people in Ochumwise recently, where she urged them not to accept the current state of affairs in which many find themselves unemployed and without hope. She says they should get involved in agendas of the nation.
Who have never been taught over 30 years to be critical thinkers. So how do you question a system that has made you to be only living in acceptance? How do you do that, young people? I'm happy today that you are saying you are tired. When somebody is tired, you know what they do. Some of them get aggressive. But I love what you and the little two boys are starting with. Starting to analyze your own situation. Starting to analyze the state resources. Starting to engage yourself. Engage yourself. Participate yourself. You know, it's a very strong thing. 30 years. You have been growing in it. You were born in it. When you say we were promised, you were not even born. You were born in the promises. How long can you tolerate this? You have to stand up.
Some of the youth that took the stage complained of not getting equal opportunities and access to education.
Even a simple tender of fixing a toilet or fixing a fence is going to a foreigner or someone that is well known. Our youth, there are more than enough boys in this community that can stand up and clean the streets or clean this, fix a fence for basic salary, even to paint the wall of the municipality. But who are these tenders going to? To the well-known individuals. What we need to do as youth as well is to mobilize ourselves and to tell the government that we are here and that we are ready, because this is our country. We are here to take over. We are here to demand our place in society as well.
It's like we are the first, and all the beneficiary goes to the rich, to our ministers, to our leaders. All we are asking us, educate our youngsters, educate our youth. Give us the privilege to educate one another. Give us the privilege. We want our resources back that you have stolen, that you have given away on a platform under the tables to the foreigners. We want our mines back. We want to own 80% of our mines. We want to own the fish rod. We want to own it. We Namibians don't have anything. What are we leaving behind for our generation? Nothing. We don't leave anything. Namibia is now belonging to foreigners.
The event was organized by the Economic and Social Justice Trust in collaboration with the Basic Income Grant Coalition of Namibia.
said. It's interesting to see if we have a look at John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In other words, what I see drives me to go out what I say. And I believe this is the goal of our Bible school, to teach me to see. And I dare to say what you see must change your heart. Because you cannot move out if you don't have a changed heart. By the word of God, everything is created. God wants you to speak the word so that things can be created. Say to your neighbor, created.
Supplying locally produced fresh produce to supermarkets and street vendors in the Zambezi region, Joseph Simata, an employee at the Ministry of Environment, Tourism and Forestry, owns an agroforestry at a farm near Katima Mulilo, specializing in livestock, horticulture, an orchard, and the cultivation of trees.
Like as I've said, I'm doing agroforestry here, where we are farming with cattle, trees. You have seen some pottery. We also have some goats at the farm. Although our cattle at the moment are not here.
Located in Mombasa area, 20 kilometers from Katima Mulilo along Ngoma Road, Samata hopes to continue adding to the country's economy by increasing food availability, enhancing nutrition, improving livelihoods, and creating job opportunities.
Yeah, I've decided to enter into farming. Despite that, I'm working in the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. I'm not really an agriculturist somebody. I'm taking this farming because I've realized that there is shortage of food first in our country. We don't have many suppliers in terms of food. Normally, we depend on South Africa in terms of our farm produce. So I have decided to take this one, that no, definitely let me go into farming.
Samata also produces his own compost, which he uses in his plantations. He further expressed his excitement when seeing his orchard all green and fruits blooming, saying it's beautiful to see, especially when the dew is visible on the leaves during the rainy season.
And welcome to the the show where we discuss trending topics amongst women across Africa. Girl, 7 years old. Do you know why you're here?
In 1997, I was filmed by an American news crew at the place I was being held. A shrine run by a priest dedicated to the worship of deities. I was labeled a Trikoshi, a wife of the gods, paying for a crime committed by a family member.
Okay. The purpose of sharing my story was to say, you know, you may have gone through something, a traumatic experience. You are still able to have life. You have life. You can live life. You can contribute to society, and that's what it should be about. It's not more. It's not really about like victimizing or because I honestly don't like watching it.
anything, he should be everything. Strength provider, the architect of every ring. Experience penny years, see the face of God in living.
I pray to God for my enemies. Why you ready? Why you baby? Wanna do it? Insta baby, Insta baby, Insta baby. Why you running? Shake what your mama gave ya. Everybody move what your mama gave ya. Everybody shake what your mama gave ya. Everybody move. Yeah, lost the fuck.
You are now watching the V10 Countdown.
Hi, welcome to the program. I'm Debula. So let's get on the road with this. Having someone who likes what you like can be great. It gives you something to chat about and share with each other, yeah? But what if you both want to be at the very top of what you're doing and your main rival is your brother? Can you imagine?
Mount Nyiragongo, located in the Democratic Republic of Congo, is one of the most active volcanoes in the world. It's found in the Virunga Mountains and located 6 miles from Goma. So what caused Mount Nyiragongo to erupt?
This is Women in African Music virtual exhibition. It was created by the British-Nigerian documentary photographer Michael Tubes.
Women in African Music exhibition is about celebrating women behind the scene and women performing on the stage.
In other leading stories, the Old Harvard List Group, through its subsidiary Owen L. Leisure, donated snack packs prepared by Pick-a-Pay, which included toiletries such as, amongst others, soap, sanitary pads and toothpaste to about 200 learners at the Arua Primary School, as well as 2 beef carcasses for the school's feeding program. Located in the Ovitoto district, Arua Primary School is a nearby neighbor to Midgard, a property of Owen L. Leisure, and the donation valued at 60,000 Namibia dollars was carried out in an effort to build stronger neighborly ties between them. And Ndawedwa Hanguo, Natasha Ace, Pauline Ndlovu, and Namafu Omutse were announced the winners for the 2021 Bankbantuk Duke Literary Awards. Hanguo won the fiction category for Silhouette. Ace was crowned the winner in the non-fiction category for Oma Sophie's Gold. Ndlovu's Green and Greening poetry piece was announced as the best in this category, while Amutse's Chrysalis scooped the Visual Art Award. The Bankbantuk Duke Literary Awards, first announced in April this year, recognize Namibian writers, poets and visual artists who produce Renaissance fiction, non-fiction, poetry and visual art. The next edition of the Bankbantuk Duke Literary Awards will take place in 2023.
And then they are being fearful, and even with grief, even with COVID and the pandemic, there's so much anxiety and fear.
It's a time of unification now. It's a time where people should leave the past behind and stop accusing and blaming and whatever, because everybody's anxious, is hysterical, we are losing our rational minds.
They don't see the need for them to go to Katutura, but Katutura now become the heaven. So I think it's also a try time for our government to see to it that our state hospitals are made to a standard where we can really take care of our people.
I was surprised last week, Dr. Njaba, we had 2 psychiatrists on the panel, and they made a comment that there's only 10 psychiatrists in this whole country. Would that be your estimation?
Of which only 4 in the States. Yeah. The rest 6, I think, is in private.
Are you a CMAS member? Did you know that should you need medical treatment, you have access to quality private hospitalization, guaranteed specialist treatment in private hospitals across Namibia with Compliment Gap? Compliment Gap is a complimentary product for CMAS members only, which covers the shortfall between what CMAS pays and private hospitals charge. You and your family have more than 2 million in medical gap cover per year at a very affordable price. That's not all. You also have access to emergency evacuation within Namibia and $10 million international travel cover for those unforeseen events abroad. Take the financial burden off your shoulders. Invest in your family's health. SMS GAP to 999 555 and we'll contact you. Terms and conditions apply.
There was a silence that connected us all. But the journey started long before that day.
Coach has a gift to be able to spot talent a mile away.
I think the family kind of feeling makes the athletes feel like they want to perform for him.
This is a match made in heaven. We just become one. There was difficult times. I said to the girls, we didn't do all this just for one lump to take us off track. We started talking about this journey, and the way we actually ended that journey is almost perfectly the way it ended.
We thought that maybe one of them will make the finals, both of them made the finals, then the rest is history.
Quiet broken by the firing of the gun, and they're off.
And here comes Christine Bommer in second place. Will they do it today? Oh, of course! 21-81.
This one belongs to us all as one.
Joseph Shifeni is up next with today's Business on One and economic indicators.
Welcome to Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni. Namibian officials who are responsible for ensuring security, identifying and dealing with risks in the maritime sector attended a workshop on port security at Walfish Bay. Stakeholders from the Namibian side that operate within the country's marine sector discussed topics including piracy, drug trafficking, illicit trade, safety of life and navigation at the port of Walfish Bay. The workshop was aimed at upgrading the capacity and enhancing port security and navigation at sea with funding from the European Union and facilitation by the International Maritime Organization.
As we all know, ports require protection to avoid damage to the global economy that can result from disruptions to supply chains and the flow of trade, which we have witnessed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Furthermore, measures are needed to protect legitimate cargo, and security is paramount to prevent the trafficking of human beings, drugs, illicit goods, all of which the EU-supported the port security program aims to address.
A container control program was implemented at the Walfish Bay port in 2018, which was followed by the training of officials over the years. European Union Ambassador to Namibia, Sinika Antila, through a message read by the EU Press and Communications Officer, pledged their continuous support to the port security program.
It's quite a broad topic, and this workshop actually kickstarts the National Committee on Security, which will be actually represented by all the stakeholders that I have mentioned, and this will be a good platform to start with and also to coordinate. But as we carry on as a committee, a national committee, we actually have the same foundation, the same direction as facilitated by the International Maritime Organization, the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, and all the entities, implementing partners with the International Maritime Organization that are assisting us today. Basically, they are showing us the door, and it's up to us really to enter into the door and make sure that all the guidance that we are receiving from here are implemented.
International experts who facilitated the program applauded all officials for their efforts in learning more about port control. And that is all we have for you. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Oranienmund, established in 1936, from which point onwards CDM, now Namdeb Diamond Corporation, provided every service, the schooling, infrastructure and entertainment required for the people of the town. The winds of change is blowing over Oranienmund, which is no longer a closed town.
This ship was commandeered by King Charles III, and he actually sent a knight to Spain to go and fetch some money from investors, because they wanted to go and fetch some spices in India.
When we were kids, the mine delivered milk, bread, and black paper, black plastic bags for your rubbish, and cleaned your garden, did the maintenance of your house. You had furniture already installed in your house.
Hi there, parents. Do you have primary school kids and want them to get extra quality supplementary lessons to up their grades? Then simply switch to One Africa TV's #LearnOn1, where your kids can get maths, English and science lessons every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. And thanks to NMH's MyZone, these lessons are 100% Namibian. There's so much to learn with #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. In June this year, the central bank revealed that items repossessed by commercial banks had a market value of 251 million Namibia dollars, of which 230 million were properties. This comes as many Namibians were unable to repay their loans due to the impact COVID-19 had on the economy. This week we spoke to some young people who say that they want to shake up the property market. Sir Stephen says he supports the idea, adding that the youth should benefit through this. Johnny says he needs the job as a subcontractor. Leonard says he has a positive feeling about it, but awaits the outcome. Navas notes that apparently there are some ups and downs with the project, adding that people will receive their houses after 40 years. While ECS welcomes the initiative. And that's all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day, only on Today on One.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, One Africa TV.
Castro Lumbu is standing by for today's sports update.
Welcome to Sports on One. I'm your host, Castro Ulumbu. After a successful debut on the athletics world stage in Europe, Tokyo Olympic Games and the World Under-20 Championships in Nairobi, Kenya, 18-year-old sprinting sensation Beatrice Masilingi filled us in on her life as a professional athlete, as well as juggling between sport and education. Today on One Sports has more on this story. In an exclusive with Sports on One, 100-meter and 200-meter Namibian teenage sprinter Beatrice Masilingi recently spoke to One Africa's TV sports desk on her life as a professional athlete, education, and how she balances the two.
In season, I have to do my training. That's wake up in the morning, go to gym. After gym, go to school. After school, go back home. Then go for another session again that's on track, and then after that go back home, rest, and just repeat the same routine every day. And then as an off season, I wake up in the morning, I wake up late, and then meet up with my friends later, have lunch, do something, go for a birthday party or something like that, just something to have fun, just to get my mind off track. And then it's just me living my teenagehood life off season. At the moment, I'm taking my subjects two at a time. Yeah, because I actually just want to go for further studies after I've retired from athletics. So there's no rush in it. So I'm just taking it step by step because I don't want to clash everything at the same time because everything requires the same attention. Yeah. And at this time, athletics like a profession already. So with school, it takes a little bit time. So I'm going to take it two at a time.
Masilingi, who scooped the 6th position in the 200-meter track race event at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games and 3 silver medals at the Under-20 World Championships in Nairobi, Kenya, also spoke on becoming an internationally recognized athlete. According to Masilingi, being internationally recognized is a dream, as she has an opportunity to compete against the world's best.
It's pretty amazing that now I get to compete on an international stage. Than my biggest stage that I've ever competed before I went international was actually the national. So it hasn't been any difference because from the beginning we've been training very hard in order to become someone, to become faster, to become something better than you were previously. So nothing has changed. It's that now we want to train more. We are more hungry and we want to become better than we were yesterday. It was disappointing and also discouraging to know that you cannot compete also in your best item, best event. So, but at the same time, it wasn't like an off thing. I could compete in the 200 and the 100 meters as well. I still have the 60 meters as well. So it wasn't the end. So that other door closed and the other one was open. So I decided to go in the one that's open instead of stressing myself the one that I can't open. So I decided I'll just train for the 200, move rather to sprinting, and hopefully maybe someday if I get to go back, I can go back for training for the 400 as well. There's actually quite a lot of competitions coming up this year. It's a busy schedule as well. There's a lot of championships and everything. So yeah, it's a tough schedule this year. Next year as well.
Henk Botte, Olympic silver medalist Christine Boma and Beatrice Masilingi are currently back in training ahead of a busy 2022 athletics season. And that is all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Thank you, Castro, for that update. Up next is the weather forecast.
A look at the weather forecast. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and warm to hot in the south and east, but cloudy and hot in the Zambezi region with isolated thunder showers. Elsewhere sunny and hot to very hot. The coast partly cloudy and mild to warm, and the wind moderate northwesterly to southwesterly but fresh southerly in the south. Now we look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
And that's all we have for you. You can join us again for a repeat at 9:30 this evening, 6 a.m. and the Omnibus Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. From me, Isai Sipunga, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Affects people very differently. Many people show no symptoms at all, but some are hospitalized for weeks. So what does the disease do to your body? The coronavirus enters through the mouth, nose or eyes. It then usually attaches itself to cells lining the nose, throat, airways or lungs. It can turn these cells into factories that multiply and spread the virus. For the majority, a fever, cough and breathlessness are as bad as it gets. But the virus can damage the small blood vessels lining the lungs and initiate clotting. The alveoli are tiny air sacs where oxygen goes into the blood. If they become inflamed, it can trigger pneumonia. Seriously ill patients need to be given oxygen as the lungs fill with fluid and debris.
I legit couldn't breathe. My oxygen meter was measuring under 88% oxygen levels, which is very dangerous. And the only time I ever thought my life was in danger was at that point.
COVID-19 doesn't just affect the lungs. It can also disrupt the immune system, which is used by the body to fight illnesses. Cytokines are part of the immune system that find and signal infections. For some people with severe COVID-19, this system can go into overdrive. If too many cytokines build up, it can cause an overreaction that damages healthy cells. This is called a cytokine storm for the most severe cases. COVID-19 can lead to seizures or even a coma. It can also cause brain problems that lead to strokes. The immune system overreacting can cause clots that stop the blood supply to parts of the brain. Brain inflammation, psychosis and dementia-like symptoms can also affect seriously ill patients. The average length of the illness is 14 days, but many people have symptoms for much longer. Breathing problems and post-viral fatigue last for months in some cases.
I cannot walk for long simply because I will feel a little bit short of breath and I feel the need to sit down. And that's something that has never happened to me before.
Some of the people who are most likely to develop severe symptoms are older adults and those with underlying health conditions. It's not fully known how anyone will react to COVID-19 until they get it. So it's important for everyone to follow health guidance. What precautions are you taking to stay safe?
Hi beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take the time in each position that your body needs to release its tension. In this session, we will stretch the hips. What you'll need are yoga blocks or books, thick books, or pillows, especially if you have tight hips. You can do this on a mat, on the floor, on a blanket, or even in your bed. Let's get started. So we're going to start on the floor with the soles of our feet together. I'm going to grab around the feet. This is a butterfly position. So in order to warm up the hips, I'm just going to flap the butterfly wings. And again, take your time. I'm going to lean forward And here, again, if the hips are too tight, you can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath. You might even feel a stretch in the back here. From this position, I'm going to take one arm right behind me, not too far from my body. The other arm, inhale, exhale, press the hip open. And come back to center. Change. One arm right behind me to lengthen the spine, the other hand on the knee. Inhale, exhale, press the hip open. And back to center. Now we're going to lie down on the floor. And first, before I get started, I have to make sure that my body, my spine is in alignment. I'm going to just open up the neck area. And you can spend as much time as you need here, allowing the force of gravity to weigh on the legs to open up the hips. You can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath the knees. And gradually, you can take the feet even further down and spend enough time in each position. From here, we're going to go into an internal hip rotation. I'm going to spread my feet to the side, lean the knees inwards. If you have a little bit more flexibility, you don't really feel the stretch, just take your feet even further apart to deepen this internal rotation stretch in your hips. From here, I'm just going to place my feet, and without repositioning the feet, I'm going to take my arms to the side, and then I'm just going to rock my legs side to side, keeping the upper body facing up, shoulders down. And then I'm going to stop on one side, take the lower leg over the upper to add weight to deepen the stretch. Release the leg and switch. Other side, lower over the upper. And back to center. Last part, I'm going to spread my legs as wide open as I can, and I'm going to just row the boat. So what's important here is that the knees don't lift off the floor. Make sure you row both sides. Keep the knees and both bum cheeks on the floor. Alternatively, you can just lean forward. You can hang out on the pillow. Take your time on the blocks or on your books. And that is it. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to breathe into your stretches, and happy stretching.
Sparse land, where endless horizons, dramatic scenery, and untouched wilderness abound. (1,500 kilometers of harsh desert coastline, a mosaic of biodiversity, sub-Saharan savanna, acacia bushland, encased by 2 deserts. Home to wildlife and wilderness abundant, yet ever at risk. This is Namibia, home to some of the most noteworthy conservation success stories across the globe. Initiatives forged, manned, and driven by passionate individuals and groups.
People are busy there walking for more than 45 kilometers a day.
Special species and wild locations under constant threat from an increasingly destructive developing world.
One of the world's true survivors.
This is the story of the Namibian wilderness, the stories of the enigmatic wildlife and natural wonders of her realm.
They are not a threat to anyone, if you understand them.
This is the story of those determined to preserve it, and thereby themselves.
I don't think I want to tell my children one day that we had rhinos in Namibia. I want to show them live rhinos.
This is the story
of the last defenders.
We have been tracking them for about 7 days, and on the 7th day, we come across the butchers, and there was a shooting. We are not armed. We having a camera and GPS. We are just hiding behind the bushes. If I don't protect this species, who's gonna do that? So is that why I sacrificed my life to go on conserve the rhinos.
Armed out in the field with basically a notebook against poachers that are armed with highly dangerous weapons and more. How is this an equal fight?
I started right on the ground as a tracker, and I worked all the way up to be the CEO now, and I know how hard it is. It's commitment and dedication and the patience that you have for the animal. It's really hard. It's like you had something in your house that you are protecting for so long, and when you go away from home, somebody comes and kills you.